In the last session, you all embarked on a tense and desperate search for Lila after discovering her missing from Tronald's tiny tower. As the night deepened, you moved stealthily through the dense forest, your eyes and ears attuned to every sound and movement. You spread out, whispering Lila's name, hoping to find any trace of her. It was Raarh who first noticed something unusual, a large, luminescent flower flickering in the darkness. As you approached, you saw that its stem was partially broken. Beside it lay Mr. Fluffy, Lila's beloved teddy bear. The sight of the bear intensified your resolve to find her. The group began discussing the potential involvement of the Wood Elves. Saxi's deductions led to the grim realization that Lila might have been taken by the elves for damaging the sacred flower. Raarh, driven by his protective instincts, used his magical necklace to commune with the plant, confirming that the Wood Elves had indeed taken Lila. Tensions ran high as you ventured deeper into the forest, Saxi calling out for Fairy in the hope of negotiating Lila's release. Your calls were initially met with silence, but after several tense minutes, an owl, likely a scout, flew off into the trees. Shortly after, Fairy appeared, mounted on a majestic, vine-covered hippogriff, her expression one of restrained anger. A group of around 12 wood elves revealed themselves, surrounding you. Tronald, attempting to play on Fairy's sense of compassion, asked for a final farewell with Lila. Despite her stern demeanor, Fairy allowed it, but not without a warning. Each member of the group delivered heartfelt goodbyes, their voices filled with emotion. But as Tronald spoke his final words, he unleashed a masterful trick. Casting Vortex Warp, he enveloped Lila in a swirling portal, transporting her to safety next to Mite. In a seamless follow-up, Mite grabbed Lila and cast Dimension Door, teleporting them both 500 feet away into the forest darkness. The Wood Elves were momentarily stunned, their expressions shifting from confusion to rage. Fairy's eyes burned with fury as she realized the deception.
What the fuck did you do that for, man?
I wasn't lying when I said I'd rather see Vizuriel's plan succeed than stand here and let a little girl be taken away, knowing I could have done something about it.
Fairy's eyes blaze with fury as she glares at you, her voice trembling with anger as the hippogriff rears up.
How dare you? You come into our sacred forest, defile our most cherished places, and then have the audacity to deceive us. You think you can just take what you want without consequence. Your arrogance knows no bounds.
Let's just leave it then. Let's go our separate ways and call that that.
Each and every one of us would die for the protection of this forest. Our lives are intertwined with the very roots and leaves that surround us. And you have stripped away the forest's justice with your deceit.
She points a trembling finger at Bryn, her voice lowering to a deadly calm.
So we will take the father instead. Let him pay the price for his seed's desecration. Let him understand the true meaning of sacrifice.
Shut up! How about you just piss off back into your fucking trees and leave him and his daughter be?
You're right. We shouldn't take the sins of the daughter out on the father. But since you spit in the face of our education for her, since you mock our ways and our justice, we will find the little one. We will hunt her down no matter where you hide her, no matter how far you run. And when we do, we will put her to the knife.
All right.
No.
Joe.
No.
I fucking rage!
Oh my god.
Then I charge at Fairy, taking 2 swings at her, angling my swings past the overgrown chicken.
Fuck.
Well, goddamn. All right, guys. So before we start this combat, we're going to change things up a little bit. It should help with immersion and whatnot. Instead of you telling me your to hits and asking if you've hit, I'm going to give you their armor class up front. Then if you hit, you can tell me how you want to hit them.
I don't get it.
Well, you're not even in this combat, Mite, so you can watch and learn.
Yeah, noob. Watch and learn.
Okay, so Fairy's armor class is 17, increased to 20 when she is atop the hippogriff. Then all the rest of the wood elves have an AC of 14. And as for the hippogriff, that's a 13 for its AC.
Gotcha. So I'm going to be making both my attacks reckless. Great weapon master. I burst forward with crazy speed, picking my great sword up as I go. Then, once I reach her, I jump into the air, delivering 2 massive slashes to her abdomen. The first slash hits, the second misses.
You can still tell me your dice rolls, buddy. I just want to avoid the dumb question of do I hit, like, you'd know if you hit or not. Does that make sense?
Oh, right, I see. Well, I rolled a 21 and a 15.
Raarh! You leap forward, your great sword cutting into Fairy's abdomen with a powerful strike. Blood splatters, causing her to stagger and almost lose balance. The second swing misses as the Hippogriff moves, aiming to protect her. But Fairy's eyes flash with pain and anger, showing the impact of your attack. I'm going to need everyone to roll for initiative. Raarh, you don't have to worry about it. You're at the top of the round.
That's a 16 for me, Joe.
A 7 for me.
And a 12 for me, Joey boy.
All right, sweet. So after Raarh, it's 6 of the Wood Elves up next. Wood Elf 5 runs down and attacks you with their longbow, Tronald. The arrow flies straight with an 18 to hit.
I cast shield, Joe.
Nice! You quickly cast shield, causing the arrow to miss.
Very nice.
Seeing the arrow deflect off your magical barrier, Tronald, Wood Elf 6 instinctively sprints forward, drawing his bow and aiming at you, Celestia. The arrow soars through the air, striking you with precision with a 20 to hit. Dealing 10 piercing damage.
Fucking ouch.
Wood Elf 10 runs towards you, Raarh, and releases an arrow from his longbow. The shot hits with a 15, dealing 7 damage, which is reduced to 3 due to your rage.
These lot actually have some decent damage output, to say there's so many of them.
Well, you asked for this, man.
Wrong! They asked for this!
Wood Elf 12 moves down and takes a shot at you, Raarh. The arrow pierces through the air, hitting with a 23. It deals 9 damage, reduced to 4. Remaining in position, Wood Elf 1 draws back his bowstring and takes aim at you, Raarh. The arrow is loosed with deadly intent, hitting with a 17. The arrow finds its mark, piercing your flesh and causing you to grunt in pain. The damage is 11, but your rage halves it to 5. Wood Elf 7 moves stealthily behind you, Raarh, and unsheathes his sword. With a swift and precise motion, he slashes at your back. The blade cuts through with a 21 to hit, dealing 6 damage, reduced to 3. Blood trickles from the wound as you brace for more attacks.
Well, that was fun.
All right, now it's your turn, Celestia. What you doing?
All right, Joe. I quickly cast Healing Word on myself. That's 7 points of healing. Then I dash to a new position over here, focusing my energy as I cast Blink. Unfortunately, the spell doesn't take effect. I rolled an 8, leaving me in the material plane for now.
Celestia, a soft light surrounds you as you cast Healing Word, mending your wounds and giving you a brief respite. You sprint to a new position, your feet barely touching the ground as you move. Concentrating hard, you cast Blink, but the spell falters, leaving you visible in the material plane. All right, now it's Wood Elf 4, 11, and 2's turn. Wood Elf 4 moves down and takes a shot at you, Tronald. The arrow flies straight, a 19 to hit, but your shield spell deflects it harmlessly. Wood Elf 11 moves down and charges at you, Raarh. With a fierce cry, he swings his sword. The blade strikes true with a 22 to hit, dealing 9 damage, which is reduced to 4. Wood Elf 2 notches an arrow and takes aim at you, Celestia, still stuck in the material plane. The arrow speeds through the air, hitting you with a sharp impact. That's an 18 to hit, and 7 damage. The pain sears through you as you look down and see another long shaft of wood sticking out from your body.
We need to get some damage output going here, guys. There's no talking our way out anymore.
All right then. Now it's Fairy and the Hippogriff's turn. The Hippogriff is going to fly over here towards you guys, which means you get an attack of opportunity on it, Raarh.
Reckless great weapon master. Okay, I hit it with a 15. As the Hippogriff tries to fly away from me, I see my chance. I swing my greatsword with all my might. That's 18 points of damage.
Epic. Raarh, as the Hippogriff attempts to take flight, you seize the moment. Your greatsword arcs through the air, connecting with the beast's flank. The impact is fierce, the blade slicing through feathers and flesh, leaving a deep, bleeding gash. The Hippogriff lets out a pained screech, its flight path faltering slightly from the blow. Blood sprays from the wound, staining the ground below as the creature struggles to regain its momentum.
What, get lost, chicken?
The Hippogriff, injured and furious, unleashes its thunderous screech, the sound imbued with powerful energy. The air vibrates with the force of the cry, and a shockwave ripples out in a 20-foot radius. I'm going to need Tronald, Saxy, and Celestia to make Constitution saving throws. I'm also going to make one for Bryn.
I rolled a 3, but I'm going to use a lucky on that. Better, that's a 15.
Well, I rolled a 17, Joe.
A 21 for me.
The Hippogriff's screech echoes through the forest, a wave of thunderous energy emanating from the creature. Tronald, Saxy, and Celestia, you grit your teeth against the force, your bodies absorbing the impact but leaving you free to act. Bryn, however, is not so fortunate. The sound crashes into him, leaving him stunned and vulnerable. So you all take 13 points of psychic damage. It doesn't get halved.
Careful, guys. That means it can read minds.
As the sound fades, the Hippogriff uses the opportunity to soar higher, flapping its wings vigorously and climbing another 40 feet into the air. Blood drips from its wounds, but it continues its ascent. Fairy, now 60 feet in the air above you, draws her bow, her eyes narrowing. She nocks an arrow imbued with shadowy energy, the dark magic swirling around the shaft as she takes aim at you, Celestia. With a swift release, the arrow flies through the air, aiming to strike and blind you. That's a 24 to hit. I'm going to need you to make a DC 13 wisdom saving throw for me, Celestia.
Thank the gods. That's a 19, Joe.
All right. Pain erupts from the wound, the necrotic energy seeping into your body, adding to the piercing pain. Shadows attempt to cloud your vision, but you push through the dark magic with a sheer force of will, keeping your sight clear despite the assault. That's 7 points of piercing damage and 9 points of necrotic for 16 total.
What the hell is that all about? She has crazy magic arrows? Well, I suppose we can fend off one per turn.
Oh no, she gets 3 attacks, brother.
Oh, I don't know how I feel about that, Joe.
Well, regardless. Fairy draws another arrow, this time imbued with crackling, thunderous energy. She takes aim at you, Tronald, and releases the arrow. That's a 24 to hit.
Yep, gets me.
Give me a dexterity saving throw.
Ew, that's a 13.
Ah, unlucky man. Are you going to use any cheese?
Nope.
Okay. The arrow finds its mark with a resounding crack, piercing your side and unleashing a burst of thunderous energy. The impact is tremendous, sending shockwaves through your body. You feel the sharp pain of the piercing arrow and the overwhelming force of the thunder damage. The blast knocks you off your feet, hurling you 30 feet back. You crash to the ground, the world spinning around you as you struggle to regain your bearings. So that's 5 points of piercing damage and 7 points of thunder damage to you, Tronald.
Oh, sweet.
Without missing a beat, Fairy knocks another arrow, this one coated in a sizzling, corrosive substance. She aims at you, Saxy, and lets it fly. That's a 26 to hit, which gets you.
Yep.
The arrow strikes, embedding itself through your protection and into your flesh. Instantly, the corrosive acid begins to eat away at your armor and skin, causing excruciating pain. You take 10 points of piercing damage and 7 points of acid damage, the searing agony almost unbearable. The acid continues to corrode your defenses, reducing your AC by 2. The stinging pain and the acrid smell of burning flesh and metal fill the air as you grit your teeth, determined to push through the pain.
This is bullshit, man.
All right, Tronald, you're up, my man.
All right, Joe. I've just about had it with these motherfucking elves in this motherfucking forest. I raise my hand and cast Fireball, targeting the cluster of elves in front of me. It should engulf wood elves 8, 6, 9, 10, 11, and 12. That's 37 points of fire damage.
Tronald, you conjure a fierce fireball, hurling it towards the group of wood elves. The explosion engulfs them in a roaring inferno. The heat is overwhelming, and the blast shakes the very ground. Elves 8, 6, 9, 10, and 11 are caught fully in the blast, their cries of pain echoing as the flames consume them. Wood Elf 12, with a natural reflex, manages to avoid the worst of it, but still suffers significant burns. The elves look battered and singed, their clothes smoldering and skin blistered from the intense heat. Despite their injuries, they remain standing, though their movements are sluggish and pained.
Now that's what I'm talking about, you sexy-ass glass cannon.
Then I sprint 30 feet into the tree line, seeking cover among the thick foliage.
All right, now it's Bryn's turn, who's stunned, so he can't do anything, which brings us to Wood Elf 9 and 3's turn. Wood Elf Warrior 9 runs up to you, Raarh, and takes a slash at you. That's a 17, so it gets you. And 8 points of damage reduced to 4. Wood Elf Warrior 3 also charges at you, Raarh, and swings his sword. That's only an 8, so it misses.
Bunch of goddamn pansies.
Now it's your turn, Saxy. What's the plan?
Well, you got us into this mess, Tronald. So, do you fancy doing something a little crazy?
Oh, I'm always up for doing something a little crazy, Saxy.
I activate my defensive field, feeling the surge of energy as it wraps around me, providing 7 temporary hit points. The added protection gives me a momentary sense of security amidst the chaos. For my next move, I focus my energy on Tronald, casting Vortex Warp. The spell's power flows through me as I envision Tronald being transported to a strategic position. With a flick of my wrist, I send Tronald onto the back of the Hippogriff.
What the hell, man?
What? You said you wanted to do something crazy.
Well, I didn't have that in mind, you absolute psychopath.
Saxy, as you activate your defensive field, a shimmering barrier forms around you, granting 7 temporary hit points. The energy hums with protective power, bolstering your defenses. You then focus your arcane energy, your eyes locked on Tronald. With a precise incantation, you cast Vortex Warp, the air around Tronald distorting and shimmering with magical energy. In an instant, Tronald is surrounded by a swirl of arcane power, his form blinking out of existence for a heartbeat before reappearing atop the Hippogriff. The creature rears slightly, both it and Fairy surprised by Tronald's sudden appearance.
Hello there.
Wood Elf Warrior 8 sprints forward with a burst of speed, his eyes locked on you, Saxi. With a powerful leap, he propels himself onto a large rock in the middle of the battlefield. The leap is graceful and precise, his form momentarily silhouetted against the moonlit sky. As he lands on the rock, he draws his bow with a fluid motion, taking aim at you. Damn, that's an 18 to hit.
That misses me, even with my reduced AC. Imagine doing all that flair and having no results. Sag.
Very sad.
All right, top of the round, you're up, Raarh.
I grip my great sword tightly, summoning divine energy. With a roar, I cast holy weapon on my sword, its blade now glowing with radiant light. I turn my gaze to Wood Elf Warrior 7, my eyes burning with rage. I lunge forward, swinging recklessly with great weapon master. My first strike connects with a 19, the holy infused blade slicing through the elf, dealing 34 points of damage.
Your first attack cleaves through the elf, the radiant energy searing his flesh and causing him to cry out in pain. The impact is brutal and the elf staggers, barely clinging to life.
I bring my sword down again, hitting with a 17, and dealing another 36 points of damage.
You swing again, your greatsword crashing down with merciless force, cutting him down where he stands. The body crumples to the ground, lifeless.
Nice.
You get an extra attack now because of your great weapon master.
I pivot towards Elf 9, swinging my greatsword recklessly but without great weapon master. My blade hits the scrawny git with a 24, dealing 23 points of damage.
Nice. Fueled by the momentum of your kill, you pivot towards Wood Elf 9. With a swift, reckless strike, your glowing blade finds its mark. The elf barely has time to react as your sword slices through him, the divine energy burning with righteous fury. He falls to the ground, dead, his life extinguished in an instant.
Epic performance, Raarh.
Wood Elf 5 dashes through the dense tree line, finding cover behind a large trunk. From his concealed position, he takes aim at you, Celestia, and releases an arrow. The arrow flies straight but misses, thudding harmlessly into the ground nearby. Wood Elf 10 positions himself for a clear shot and draws his bow. He fires at you, Raarh, hitting with a 17. That's 9 points of damage reduced to 4. Wood Elf Warrior 12 moves with agility, running behind a tree and once again taking aim at you, Raarh. Wow! His arrow strikes true with a natural 20, dealing 15 damage, which is reduced to 7 by your rage. Wood Elf Warrior 1 also seeks a strategic position, dashing behind a tree and taking another shot at you, Raarh. The arrow hits with a 19, dealing 6 damage, reduced to 3.
It's always the same old shit. I might have to start adding porcupine to the list of animal names I wield.
Please don't.
You're up, Celestia.
I focus my energy and whisper a healing word for Tronald. A warm light flows from my hands, traveling to him and restoring 8 points of health. Next, I gather my magical power and cast Polymorph on Tronald, transforming him into a giant ape.
Oh, now that's what I'm talking about. Monkey Tronald is back, bitches.
I then concentrate on blinking out. I succeed, rolling a 16. I vanish from sight, entering the ethereal plane.
Okay. Tronald's body expands rapidly, his muscles bulging and growing ginger fur. The transformation is swift, and as the spell completes, Tronald stands as a towering giant ape. The weight of the transformation is far too much for Fairy and the Hippogriff to bear. With a startled cry, they both crash to the ground, unable to stay aloft with the enormous ape on their backs. They don't take any damage from the fall, but they are now grounded, scrambling to regain their composure. It's then the familiar sensation of shifting planes washes over you, and you successfully vanish from the material plane, watching the battlefield from beyond, ready to reappear when the moment is right.
When the moment is ripe.
Why did you just repeat what he said?
I didn't. Joe said right, whilst I said ripe.
But why did you repeat it?
Just to prove that you don't listen properly. Silly Saxy.
The Wood Elf warriors, seeing your relentless fury, Raarh, focus their efforts on bringing you down. They send a volley of arrows your way. The first arrow from Warrior 4 misses, sailing past you and embedding into a tree. The second arrow from Warrior 11 hits you with a sharp thud, the pain slicing through your side. However, your raging form reduces the damage to a measly 4 points. The third arrow from Warrior 2 strikes true, adding to your porcupine form.
Hell yeah!
Despite the initial pain, you shrug it off, reducing the damage to 5. The relentless barrage of arrows underscores the Wood Elves' determination to bring you down, yet it is seemingly to no avail.
They can't bring down the green god. Let me hear it, Raarh.
They can't bring down the green god!
The Hippogriff, grounded and facing formidable opponents, flaps its wings with a thunderous force. The air around it churns violently, creating a 30-foot cone of razor-sharp winds. The gale slash tears through the battlefield, targeting both Tronald and Saxy. I'm going to need you both to make dexterity saving throws.
That's a 21 for me, Joe.
Goddamn ball hairs. That's a 12.
Weird saying, but whatever. Tronald, the winds hit you with full force. You try to shield yourself, but the sharp currents cut deep, inflicting 18 slashing damage. Blood sprays as the winds slice through your flesh, the pain searing through your body.
Ouch. I mean, ooh, ah.
Saxy, you manage to brace yourself just in time. The winds still cut through, but your quick reflexes minimize the damage to 9 slashing damage. The sharp currents graze past you, leaving shallow cuts in their wake. With the attack executed, the Hippogriff uses the momentum to push off the ground. Its powerful wings beat furiously as it ascends back into the sky, climbing 60 feet to gain a better vantage point.
Someone really needs to take that thing out.
I'm a little bit preoccupied at the moment.
Fairy's eyes burn with intense focus as she draws her bowstring back, each blazing arrow igniting with a fiery aura. She releases the first arrow, which strikes you, Tronald, squarely. The arrow pierces your flesh and the fire spreads from the wound, searing your skin and causing immense pain. She quickly follows with a second arrow, finding its mark. This one burrows deeper, the fire flaring upon impact and causing even more excruciating burns. Her third shot is flawless, a natural 20. The arrow strikes with such force and accuracy that it digs deep into your side, the flames erupting upon contact and spreading rapidly. The intense heat burns through your body, the pain nearly unbearable. So that's 60 points of damage total. As the flames continue to engulf you, you realize that the fire won't simply fade away. It will continue to burn, dealing 27 points of fire damage at the start of each of your turns until you can extinguish it.
What the hell do you mean by extinguish it? Do you mean I have to spend my action doing that?
Yep, that's exactly what you have to do.
That's straight ass, man.
Right. Well, it's your turn now, Tronald. What's the plan?
I'm going to Monkey Man run over to number 5 and make 2 Monkey Man slams with my Monkey Man fists.
You know, you don't need to refer to yourself as Monkey Man every other word, right?
Oh, I thought you'd like it, that's all.
And why would I like it?
Because you like monkeys.
That's an excellent point. Carry on.
All right. So the flames scorch my skin, dealing 27 points of fire damage, but I refuse to waste an action to try put it out. Despite the pain, I force myself to move, driven by my monkey rage. I sprint towards Wood Elf Warrior 5, my massive ape fists clenched tightly before smashing both of them onto him one after another. They both hit with 28 and a 21. So that's 50 points of damage total.
With a powerful roar, you swing your first enormous fist, striking Wood Elf Warrior 5 with a resounding blow. The elf is sent reeling, the force of the punch nearly breaking their body. Before they can react, you follow up with a second crushing fist. The elf's body splats and crumples under the sheer force, falling lifeless to the ground. The flames around you crackle and hiss, but your fury and strength are undiminished.
Hell yeah! Kick their asses, Monkey Man!
All right, now it's Bryn's turn. He's just going to dash 60 feet further into the forest.
Where the hell does he think he's running to?
It's for the best. He will only be getting in the way right now.
Wood Elf Warrior 3 steps forward and aims a slash at you, Raarh. However, with a natural 1, his footing falters at a crucial moment. His sword swings wide, missing you entirely and leaving him off balance.
I steady my rifle, my focus narrowing on Wood Elf Warrior 8. Ignoring their half cover thanks to my sharpshooter feat, I take my first shot. But I misjudge the angle, and it misses entirely with an 11. Not discouraged, I quickly realign my aim and fire again at Wood Elf 11. This time the shot is true, hitting with a 25, and dealing 13 points of damage.
He's dead.
Nice. With a swift motion, I pivot and take aim at Wood Elf Warrior 10 for my bonus action, activating my sharpshooter ability. The shot hits with a solid 19. And dealing 20 points of damage.
Saxy, you steady your rifle, your sharpshooter's focus allowing you to ignore the half cover that Wood Elf Warriors 8 and 11 have taken. Your first shot rings out, but the bullet flies wide, missing its mark completely. Quickly adjusting, you fire again with precision. The second shot hits Wood Elf Warrior 11 squarely, the bullet piercing through their chest with lethal force. The elf crumples to the ground, lifeless as the sound of the shot echoes through the forest. Wasting no time, you pivot and target Wood Elf Warrior 10 with your sharpshooter sharpshooter ability activated. The bullet strikes true, tearing through the elf's neck, causing them to collapse to the ground, dead before they even knew where the shot came from.
Now we're making some progress.
Wood Elf Warrior 8, his eyes gleaming with wickedness, uncorks a small vial and drinks the potion in one swift motion. The elixir surges through his body, seemingly granting him extraordinary speed. With a sudden burst of motion, he darts past you, Saxy, moving so quickly that he's almost a blur in the moonlit forest. His target is clear. Bryn, who stands more vulnerable and less defended than the rest of your group. The elf's bowstring hums as he draws it back, eyes narrowing in precise focus. He releases the arrow, which flies through the air. The arrow strikes Bryn with a solid thud, hitting with a 23. Bryn gasps in pain as the arrow embeds itself in his shoulder, dealing 11 points of damage. The Wood Elf's strategy to hit the group where it hurts most has been executed with ruthless efficiency, leaving Bryn terribly wounded.
What the hell? Why are they going for him?
To make it more complicated for us, at first all we had to do was defend ourselves. Now we have to make sure that Bryn doesn't die. Fucking fantastic.
Saxy, can you get to that elf that's attacking him?
I mean, probably, but I can't do shit right now.
All right, so top of the round. We're on to you, Raarh.
I grip my sword tightly, summoning forth a surge of energy from it. The magic flows into me, granting 23 temporary hit points. With a roar, I slash towards Wood Elf 3's leg. Reckless, great weapon master. Ah, fuck! I miss, with the 11 to hit. I bring my sword back around, this time aiming for his torso with another reckless, great weapon master strike. Yes! That's a 15. The blade connects with a satisfying crunch, dealing 35 points of damage.
Your first swing is aimed at the elf's leg, a strike meant to cripple him. The elf, agile and quick, dodges just in time, the blade slicing through empty air. The miss fuels your anger further, and you bring your sword back around with even greater force. This time you aim higher, targeting his torso. The blade connects with a sickening crunch, cutting deep into the elf's body. The sheer power of your attack alongside the radiant damage nearly cleaves him in two. Blood sprays from the wound and the elf staggers, barely able to remain standing.
What? He's not dead?
I mean, you did miss an attack.
Shut up!
Wood Elf Warrior 6 steps in close to you, Raarh, delivering a swift slash with his blade. The attack connects with a 16. So that's reduced to 5 damage as the blade rips down your muscular back. Simultaneously, Wood Elf Warrior 12 dashes to a new position, finding a clear shot at Bryn despite his partial cover. Holy hell, with a natural 20, the arrow flies true. The impact is severe, dealing 16 points of damage and causing Bryn to collapse, unconscious and bleeding on the forest floor.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Well, this is brilliant.
Undeterred, Wood Elf Warrior.
Someone help him!
One aims another arrow at you, Raarh. The shot hits with a 25. But once again, your resilience reduces the damage to a mere 2 points.
I'm so fucking angry right now.
We'll take it out on them, not me.
All right, Celestia, you're up.
All right, so first I blink back into the material plane. My first instinct is to heal, so I quickly whisper a healing word, feeling a soothing warmth wash over me, restoring 6 points of health. Realizing the danger around me, in case I don't manage to blink out, I cast Mirror Image. 3 illusory duplicates of myself spring into existence, each one mimicking my movements perfectly. This will make it much harder for them to hit the real me. With a deep breath, I focus again on blinking out. The familiar sensation of shifting dimensions takes hold as I roll a 19, successfully blinking back out.
Cool. All right. Wood Elf 4 moves quickly, finding a clear line of sight to you, Saxy. He draws back his bow and releases an arrow. The arrow strikes true with a 23, dealing 9 points of damage. Simultaneously, Wood Elf 2 climbs onto the rock to get a better shot at the now massive form of Tronald as a giant ape. He draws his bow, taking careful aim before letting the arrow fly. The shot connects with a 13, hitting Tronald's meaty form with a solid thud. The arrow deals 10 points of damage, but you, as the enormous ape, barely flinches in response.
How would you like your Tronald, good sir? Meaty, with extra cheese.
I like it.
The hippogriff, hovering in the air, emits a powerful screech that rumbles through the forest. In response, the earth beneath you begins to tremble. Suddenly, thick vines and gnarled roots burst from the ground, covering a vast 50-foot radius. The once solid ground is now a churning mass of plant life, making it difficult to move. I'm going to need Tronald and Saxy to make strength saving throws.
Well, that's an 18 for monkey me, Joe.
God damn it, that's only a 7.
The forest floor is now a tangled mess of vines and roots, writhing and twisting as if alive. Tronald, you manage to stay mobile, your massive strength overcoming the plant's attempts to restrain you. Saxy, however, finds himself entangled, the vines holding him fast. You both take 7 points of piercing damage.
What? Even though I saved?
Yep, the damage is unavoidable.
Bleh.
Fairy, her eyes filled with fury, knocks a blazing arrow and takes aim at you, Tronald. The arrow flies straight and true, hitting you with a 19. The piercing pain is immediate, dealing 11 points, but it also accompanied by the searing heat of the fire. That's 6 points of fire damage. The flames from this new attack will add to the inferno already consuming you, bringing the total fire damage you'll take at the start of your turn to 33 points.
Can you not?
Immediately after firing at Tronald, Fairy turns her bow towards you, Saxy, and releases another blazing arrow. However, this one misses its mark, whistling past harmlessly. Her final shot is aimed at Raarh. Damn, that's a natural 20.
Yeah, of course it is. Why you want to see me die, Joe?
The arrow buries deep into your flesh, Raarh, with the piercing damage combining with the intense flames to deal a total of 33 points of damage, which is reduced to 16 due to your rage. The fire from this shot will cause you to take 10 points of fire damage at the start of your turn.
How about no?
You don't have a choice, dude.
Oh yeah, true.
All right, that brings us to you, Tronald.
Well, it's about goddamn time.
It hasn't even been that long, dude.
Shush. Monkey Man's thinking.
Well, you take 33 points of fire damage anyway.
Joe, the more you interrupt my thought process, the longer I'll wait.
Oh my god.
Well, Monkey Man's barely holding on, with only 1 hit point left. Okay. Seeing no rocks around for my attack, I decide to use the environment to my advantage. With a roar, I rip a massive tree from the ground, its roots snapping like twigs. I yeet it like a javelin, aiming for the Hippogriff. Yeah, boy, that's a natural 20, Joe.
Bloody brilliant, Tronald.
Nice one, man.
And that's, 70 points of damage, total.
Tronald, the fire continues to consume you, but your resolve does not waver. With a mighty roar, you grab hold of a large tree, ripping it from the ground with a display of sheer strength. Dirt and roots fly as you wield the tree like a massive spear. You take aim at the Hippogriff, and with a tremendous heave, you hurl the tree skyward. The makeshift javelin flies straight up and slams into the Hippogriff with overwhelming force. The tree trunk pierces through its body, the sharp splintered end bursting out of its back in a shower of blood and feathers. The creature is struck with such power that it is instantly killed, its body absolutely skewered from the impact, blood and gore raining down from the sky. As the Hippogriff falls, the magical vines restraining Saxy dissipate, their energy fading away. Fairy, caught off guard by the sudden demise of her mount, falls 60 feet to the ground. She twists in midair, managing to reduce the impact with a dexterous maneuver, rolling with a saving throw of 23. Despite her efforts, she still lands hard, taking 12 points of fall damage. The battlefield erupts in chaos, the sight of a tree being used as a weapon and the death of the Hippogriff adding to the already intense scene. The tree trunk, now coated in the creature's blood, lies embedded in the ground. Fairy's fall creates a dust cloud as she hits the forest floor.
Saxy, I just want to point out, I think an alliance is off the table.
Oh, you don't fucking say.
But hey, at least she has learned a very hard lesson that you can't just go around stealing children.
Well, now it's Bryn's turn. So that's one failed death save. He rolled an 8.
Where the hell is Celestia? Is she still on holiday in the ethereal plane? Somebody tell her to get her ass back here.
Yeah, as if things weren't already bad enough for Lila. At this rate, she's going to be an orphan too.
Wood Elf 3, visibly shaken by the sight of the Hippogriff being brutally taken down, spins around to face you, Saxy. With Raarh threatening him closely, the elf nervously draws his bow and takes a shot at you with disadvantage. Oof, that's a 9. The arrow flies wide, missing its mark entirely as the elf's concentration falters. The shock of the Hippogriff's demise clearly affecting his aim. That brings us to you, Saxy. What you doing?
All right, I run over here, Joe. Then I crouch down, feeling the solid weight of my thick power armor grounding me. Taking a deep breath, I focus through my scope. Targeting the wood elf, who was chasing Bryn, I steady my aim and fire. That's a 23 to hit. And 10 points of damage.
Okay. You exhale slowly, your fingers squeezing the trigger. The shot rings out, the bullet streaking through the air. It strikes the wood elf in the back, piercing through the 3/4 cover as if it wasn't there. The elf's body jerks violently before crumpling to the ground, lifeless.
Then I'm going to make another 2 shots at Fairy, sharpshooter. God damn it, I missed both. With an 11 and a 7.
Oofed, unlucky, man. All right, Raarh, you're up.
The fire sears my flesh, but I grit my teeth and push through the pain, taking 10 points of fire damage. I raise my greatsword and swing recklessly at Wood Elf 6's stomach. I hit with a 22. and that's 29 points of damage.
Well, he's dead.
Without pausing, I turn my fury on Wood Elf 3, swinging my greatsword towards his chest once again, recklessly. I hit with an 18 and 31 points of damage.
Yep, dead too.
Now I'm going to use my extra attack from killing number 3 on Wood Elf 2, this time reckless and great weapon master. I hit with a 16 and 47 points of damage.
I don't think I'll ever get tired of seeing that damage output.
Raarh, you unleash your first attack on Wood Elf 6. Your greatsword cleaves through the elf's torso, sending a spray of blood as the warrior collapses to the ground lifeless. Without missing a beat, you swing your greatsword at number 3. The blade cuts deep into his chest, the force of the blow splitting him in two, his body falling in a gruesome heap, blood pooling beneath him. With your bloodlust at its peak, you charge towards Wood Elf Warrior 2. You leap onto the rock, closing the distance in a heartbeat. Your greatsword comes up towards his head in a deadly arc. The sheer power of the strike tears through the elf's jaw, lifting him off his feet and sending him flying off, leaving his body in a mutilated, bloody mess at the base of the rock.
I wonder how Might's doing with Lila.
Oh, I'm fine. Kind of sad I'm missing out on the action, but hey-ho.
Don't worry too much. We seem to be doing all right without you. Let's put it this way. Nobody's died yet.
Why would you say that?
Wood Elf Warrior 12 sprints through the trees, his bow drawn. He releases an arrow towards you, Saxy, hitting with a 22. That's 9 points of damage.
Screw you, Raarh, and your jinxie bullshit. I'm down, Joe.
Damn!
Whoa, 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 there, mister. Don't blame me.
I blame you, Raarh. I blame you.
The impact is too much, and Saxy collapses, his armored form hitting the ground hard, unconscious. Meanwhile, Wood Elf Warrior 1 takes advantage of the distraction and moves into position. He draws back his bowstring and fires at you, Tronald. The arrow finds its mark. So that's 11 points of damage.
Oh no. Monkey Man's down, guys. I repeat, Monkey Man is down.
See what you've done, Raarh? You've caused 2 of us to go unconscious.
What? Tronald isn't unconscious. It's just his monkey form.
Oh, okay.
Come on, Saxy. Pay attention. He even repeated it twice, saying Monkey Man is down, not Tronald is down. Though, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt and blame your attention span on the fact that you're bleeding out.
The arrow pierces through the giant ape, causing Monkey Man to dissipate. Tronald, you revert to your normal self, the remaining damage from the attack penetrating through to your wizardly form.
Where the hell is Celestia?
That brings us to you, Celestia.
I'm back, bitches! Seeing Saxy down, I quickly cast Healing Word, using my last first level spell slot to bring him back from the brink. So that's 8 points of healing.
Thanks, Celestia.
Looking over to non-monkey man Tronald, I see the flames still consuming him, threatening to deal a devastating amount of damage. I run over to him and use my action to smother the flames, beating them out with my hands and robe until they finally extinguish.
What a hero.
With my immediate tasks done, I focus on my blink spell once more, attempting to phase out of the material plane. That's a 17, so I'm gone. Toodles.
Seeing you get back up, Wood Elf 4 is going to take a shot at you, Saxy.
Oh, come on.
He misses with a 14.
Who?
Fairy, her eyes blazing with cold fury, climbs atop the lifeless body of the fallen Hippogriff. Now standing on the creature's carcass, she draws a poisoned arrow from her quiver, the tip glistening with a slick green enchantment. She locks onto you, Saxy. That's a 19 to hit.
For God's sake, man.
And 9 points of piercing damage, alongside 8 points of poison damage.
Great, well, I'm down again.
The arrow flies through the air with a deadly whistle, piercing through your armor and embedding itself deep into your flesh with a sickening thud. The poison works swiftly, coursing through your veins like liquid fire. You crumple to the ground, your body convulsing as the venom takes hold. Make a con saving throw for me, Saxy.
Why, though? I'm already down.
It doesn't matter because it can still affect you.
Lovely, that's a 12.
All right, so you have disadvantage on all physical base saving throws, which includes death saves.
Well, this isn't good.
Fairy wastes no time drawing another arrow, this one crackling with thunderous energy. The air hums with power as she takes aim at you, Tronald. With a fierce cry, she releases the arrow. That's a 26 to hit.
Silvery barbs.
Ah, awesome. So the second roll is an 11.
I want to give the advantage to Saxy, canceling out his disadvantage.
Okay, nice. It streaks toward you, but your quick incantation of silvery barbs warps its path, making her falter and causing the arrow to veer off course. The thunderous explosion echoes harmlessly in the distance, startling a bunch of birds to the skies.
You can't touch this.
All right, then. Fairy draws a third arrow, then releases it towards you, Tronald. That's a tainted 20 to hit. Okay, so that's 22 points of damage.
Oh, sweet bulbous ball sacks. I'm down, Joe.
Damn. Okay. The arrow slices through the air with a terrifying hiss, whizzing straight towards your ear. For a brief moment, it seems like it's going to miss, but a sudden gust of wind shifts its path at the last second. The arrow veers sharply, piercing straight into your eye with a gruesome squelch. The impact is brutal and immediate. For the rest of you watching, Tronald's scream is cut short as the arrow drives deep into his skull. Blood and gore explode from the wound, his body collapsing to the ground in a lifeless heap.
I just want to point out you're a dick for that.
So I need death saving throws from both Tronald and Saxi. I'm also going to roll another one for Bryn.
For fuck's sake, man. That's an 8, which gives me 1 fail.
I rolled a 12, so 1 success.
And Bryn rolled a 2, so that's 2 fails for him.
This is going slightly worse than I expected it to.
Only slightly.
Right, well, it's your turn now, Raarh. What you doing?
I charge towards Wood Elf 4. With a bellowing roar, I swing the massive blade recklessly, throwing all my strength behind the attack. That's a 14 to hit, and 39 points of damage. I bring the sword around for another strike, this time without the added power from my great weapon master. That's a tainted 20 to hit, and 29 points of damage.
Nice. He's dead, man.
Now, I turn my gaze to Fairy. Charging forward, I raise my great sword and swing it down with all my might. That's another tainted 20 to hit.
She's going to use her reaction to deflect your attack, giving her +5 to her AC.
Damn, she has tricks.
Is that you then, buddy?
Yep.
Wood Elf 12, seeing the ferocity of your attacks, Raarh draws his bowstring back with all his might and releases an arrow aimed straight at you. That's a natural 20.
Oh my god.
So that's 19 points of damage, reduced to 9. The arrow flies true, striking you in the shoulder with a solid thunk. The impact is fierce, but your sheer resilience reduces the damage. Blood seeps from the wound, but you stand strong, your rage a shield against the pain. Wood Elf 1 quickly follows up with his own shot. That's a 22 to hit. And 10 points of damage reduced to 5. The arrow hits its mark, embedding itself in your side.
Stop hitting me!
Once again, the damage is mitigated by your chonky form. The pain is sharp and immediate, but it only seems to fuel your rage further. All right, Celestia, you're up.
I blink back into existence. Wasting no time, I move over to Saxi, positioning myself behind him. Then, I grab my holy symbol and cast Mass Healing Word on Saxi, Raarh, myself, Tronald, and Bryn, channeling divine energy to mend our wounds. That's 7 points of healing to everyone.
Friggin' awesome, Celestia.
Absolute hero.
Joe, can I use a second level spell slot as a first level for my action?
What do you mean?
Like, I'm out of first levels, so can I just use a second level in place of the first? So I'd basically be short selling myself?
Oh yeah, sure, I don't see why not. Also, for anyone watching at home who still tries to correct the multi-spell use, saying that it shouldn't be allowed, it is a homebrew rule where you can use any level spell, followed by a first level or cantrip, as long as one of them is an action and the other is a bonus action.
How come you have to mention that? Hasn't it already been mentioned a bunch of times?
You'd be surprised how many times it still comes up, buddy.
All right, thanks. I focus my energy once more and cast another healing word, this time purely on Tronald. So that's another 6 points of healing.
Thank you, kind cleric.
And that's a 10, so I blink back out.
All right then, now it's Fairy's turn. She's going to shout out.
Fall back, everyone. Fall back to the tree line.
Then she's going to move back herself. You can take an attack of opportunity if you'd like to, Raarh.
Of course I'd like to. Reckless. Great weapon master. That's a 19 to hit.
Raarh, as you lash out with your great sword towards Fairy, she whirls back around, catching the side of your sword with her short bow, using her reaction to deflect, giving her +5 to her AC.
Oh, poo.
She immediately counters with a thunderous arrow aimed at Tronald. That's a 24 to hit you, buddy.
I'm going to cast Silvery Barbs.
Nice. Ah, unlucky man. Her reroll is a 20 to hit, so she still gets you.
Fabulous.
So that's 16 points of damage total, and you're knocked back 30 feet.
Yay, I'm unconscious again.
Oofed! So Tronald is down. She's going to use her second attack to spin and fire another shot at you, Saxi. That's a 21 to hit, and 14 points of damage.
For fuck's sake, I'm down again.
Unlucky. For her final attack, she's going to fire yet another thunder arrow at you, Raarh. That's a 25 to hit, and 18 points of damage reduced to 9.
How are you looking, Raarh?
Oh, I'm looking. Don't you worry about that.
Great.
Tronald and Saxi, give me a death save.
That's a 5. So 1 fail.
Well, how about that? I rolled a natural 1, Joe. So that's 2 fails for me.
This is looking shit.
Maybe me buggering off wasn't the best thing to do.
It was. It's kept Lila safe, else she could have been dead right now. Come on, guys. Have faith. We can do this.
Well, Bryn, shocked and panicking, is going to run over here. Then that brings us to the top of the round, Raarh. What you doing?
Well, I don't plan on wasting an action putting out this fire, so I take 10 points of fire damage. Then I'm going to run 40 feet this way and throw a hand axe at Ferry. Holy bejesus, that's a natural 1, Joe, and that's pretty much all I can do from this distance.
Unlucky. All right, so now it's Wood Elf 12 and 1's go. They're both going to make shots at you, Raarh. So that's a 16 to hit for number 12, and a 21 to hit for number 1. So the first attack was 9 points of damage reduced to 4. The second attack was 11 points of damage reduced to 5. So that's 9 total.
I'm really looking now, guys.
You're up, Celestia.
Right. So I blink back in, Joe. Then I'm going to cast Healing Word at level 2, but acting as a level 1 spell on Tronald for my bonus action. So that's 5 points of healing. Now I'm going to move over here and cast Hold Person on Ferry.
Ooh, interesting. So she rolled a natural 1, which means she's now classed as paralyzed.
Yes.
Now I'm going to try and blink back out. Nah, I don't. That's an 8.
Okay, so that brings us to Ferry. She's going to try and break free from the Hold Person spell. Not with a 12 she won't. She's still held.
Good. This is good.
You're up, Tronald.
All right. I struggle to my feet, the pain coursing through my body from the earlier attack. With a deep breath, I gather my remaining strength and focus my magic. I shout out, "Raarh, hold on!" before casting Vortex Warp. In an instant, Raarh is teleported next to Ferry, his massive form appearing right beside her, ready to unleash his fury.
Nice. So for Bryn's turn, he's going to run over here behind you, Tronald.
Is that it? Is that all he can do? Run?
What do you want him to do? A few fireballs, maybe? He's a woodcutter, dude, not a fighter.
Throw a bloody axe or something then.
Oh, yeah, because it worked so well for you, didn't it?
Keeping Lila would have probably been more advantageous than this guy. Oh, come on! That's a 7, so that's my second failed death save.
Unlucky. Top of the round, we're on to you, Raarh.
Well, at the start of my turn, I take the 10 points of fire damage, which knocks me unconscious. But I come back to 1 HP with my orcish endurance. The magic on my sword doesn't require concentration, so that's still going. I make 2 reckless, great weapon master attacks on Fairy. I hit her with an 18.
Just to let you know, buddy, any attacks that hit her are auto crits because she's paralyzed.
Ooh, nice! So that's 68 points of damage for the first attack. Then I'm going to swing at her again. That's a 21 to hit. And that's 78 points of damage. So all in all, that's 146 points of damage.
If you wasn't on my side, I'd be hella calling for you to be nerfed.
Raarh, how do you want to do this?
Hell yeah, buddy, you absolute beast.
I feel the fire searing my flesh, the agony almost overwhelming. I fall to one knee, the world dimming around me. But then a surge of primal fury and determination courses through my veins. I grit my teeth, forcing myself back to my feet, barely hanging on by sheer willpower. The burning pain is nothing compared to the rage that fuels me now. My sword still glows with divine energy, ready to deliver the wrath of Nepthet-Ka. With a roar that shakes the very trees around us, I raise my greatsword and charge at Fairy. My vision narrows to a single point, the enemy before me. The sword connects with Fairy's torso, tearing through flesh and bone. Blood sprays in a gruesome arc, the sheer force of the blow sending shockwaves through her body. She's already dead, but the rage within me demands more. I lift my sword again, the divine energy crackling along the blade. The blade cleaves through her lifeless form, bisecting her completely. Blood and guts explode outward, the remnants of her body falling to the ground in a heap.
That was awesome, man. Fairy's gruesome death, rather than causing fear, seems to ignite a fury within the remaining Wood Elves. Wood Elf Warrior 12 rushes towards you, Celestia. That's a 25 to hit.
Okay, let me see if it hits one of my mirror images. Oh, come on! I rolled a natural 1, so it doesn't hit one of my duplicates, but instead hits me.
Damn unlucky, so that's 9 points of damage. Now Wood Elf 1 is going to attack you, Raarh. That's a 16 to hit.
Welp.
And 8 points of damage.
Yep, well, I'm down. I only had 1 health left.
Oofed. Well, that brings us to you, Celestia.
Well, I'm going to use my last spell slot to cast Mass Healing Word, aiming to get everyone in it. So that's 6 points of healing to everyone.
Amazing. All right, Tronald, you're back on your feet, and it's your turn.
I use my action to polymorph myself into a T-Rex. Then I run over here, Joe.
Tronald, your form begins to distort and expand, bones elongating and muscles bulging as you cast polymorph. The transformation is terrifying, with the sounds of cracking bones and stretching sinew filling the air. As the transformation completes, you stand towering over the battlefield as a fearsome Tyrannosaurus Rex. You let out a thunderous roar. The primal scream vibrates through the tree line, sending birds scattering from their treetops. The ground quakes beneath your massive feet as you charge forward, where each step you take is an earthquake.
That's me, Joe.
Saxy, you're up.
I'm going to take a shot towards Elf 12 with Sharpshooter. I hit with a 19. Then that's 18 points of damage. I'm going to use my bonus action to make a pistol shot towards him with Sharpshooter. That also hits with a 15. For 13 points of damage.
He's dead, buddy.
Awesome. Then I'm going to make my last shot towards number 1. That's a natural 20, Joe.
Nice.
Fuck yeah, that's 29 points of damage.
How do you want to do this, Saxy?
I feel the chaos and carnage around me and how it's almost overwhelming. I feel sadness that this could have been something different, something better, where we could have been allies instead of enemies. But then a surge of focus courses through my body. I grip my rifle tightly, my eyes narrowing as I take aim. I take a deep breath. Then I pull the trigger. The bullet finds its mark, tearing through the elf's body, sending him flying backwards and smashing into a nearby tree before he crumples to the ground, lifeless.
As you all stand there, the dust of battle settling down, you look around, and miraculously, you are all still standing. The once fierce and relentless wood elves now lie scattered around you, their bodies lifeless and their blood soaking into the forest floor. Tronald, towering above the scene as a colossal T-Rex, lets out a thunderous roar that shakes the very foundations of the forest. The roar echoes through the trees, a primal declaration of your victory. His immense form casts a long shadow from the moonlight. Raarh stands amidst the fallen, his breath ragged but his spirit unbroken. Blood drips from his blade, the divine energy still crackling along its edge. The rage that fueled him in battle slowly ebbs away, replaced by a fierce determination to protect those he holds dear. Saxy, your rifle still smoking from the precision shots, stands vigilant. Your eyes scan the tree line, ensuring no further threats remain. Celestia, with a flicker of her all but exhausted magic reserves, surveys the aftermath. Her presence, both nurturing and fierce, brought hope and strength to the group. Her spells mended wounds and bolstered spirits, ensuring that you all stood together till the end. The forest, once a serene and sacred place, now bears the scars of the conflict, yet it is in this moment of stillness that you find a brief respite. So you gather yourselves, the enormity of your journey and the battles yet to come weighing heavily on your minds. But for now, you have emerged victorious. But can it be said with certainty that your bond as a group is stronger than ever? Well, that is to be decided. And that's where we're going to wrap up this session. See you later, guys.